48 hours away from kickoff on the final day. This Sunday, Chelsea take on Nottingham Forest. And to say that I am nervous would be an understatement. It's the biggest game of the weekend. It is, categorically speaking, like I mean, there are obviously other games in the top 5 race that hold the same significance, but I would say that the pressure is on both parties in this game more than any other game. Relegation sorted, top 3 more or less sorted. I mean, Man City could still drop out, but the likelihood of that happening is fairly slim. With regards to Chelsea, it's fairly simple. We've just got to win. We just have to win. But this video in particular will focus on a few things. Most of all, how and what will Chelsea get depending on the results. Depending on the result. Before we begin, please do like the video, subscribe, hit the bell notification. This is one of the last videos for probably second to last video for the Premier League season this season. Preview tomorrow, and then we'll get back on to the Conference League final. Hopefully that's the last we see of the Conference League for quite some time, if ever. But anyway, moving on. Chelsea, I believe, are in the worst position possible out of absolutely everyone. And that, realistically speaking, Nottingham Forest, they just don't have the pressure on them at this point. They've had a great season. They've obviously fallen off towards the back end here, and no one is expecting Nottingham Forest to pull something out here. And if they do, it is an absolutely monumental win for Nottingham Forest if they can get the win here. Now, for them, if Aston Villa win and Forest win, then they still don't get Champions League football. So whilst beating us would be an absolutely huge win for them, they would get Europa League. And as it stands at the moment, basically everyone in the top 7 is getting European football in some way or shape or form. Obviously, the Crystal Palace result, I think, means that 7th place can no longer get Europa League because the spot has now been taken from them because they're a Premier League club. I still don't know if that's necessarily the case because they've just won it as a circumstance, 6th place would still get it, and then so on and so forth. If we win the Conference League, we get Europa League. It explains itself in that way. It's quite self-explanatory there. Let's move on to Chelsea now. It's fairly simple. It is fairly simple, but basically, we need to win. We need to win. Goal difference will, of course, play a part, kind of, but more so only to do with Newcastle and Chelsea. But even then, it just depends. If Newcastle lose catastrophically, if Villa I'm making this sound more complicated than it actually is. Just win. That's all we have to do. If we draw, we get Europa League. If Villa beat Manchester United, that is. And if we lose, then we're out altogether. And if Villa win, then we're into the Conference League and we finish 7th place. Now, if we win, we're through. If we draw, Villa draw, and obviously Forest will draw, then we will stay as is. Then only Man City and Newcastle will change about. So a draw is good as long as Aston Villa draw or lose. If Villa lose and we draw, we're through to the Champions League. If we lose and Aston Villa lose, we still don't get Champions League because obviously Forest will leapfrog us. I think that I think that's it realistically with regards to what could happen. The simple matter of the situation is that we have to win to avoid any and all confusion, of which there shouldn't be much. There really shouldn't be much. Win, we're through. Lose, we're out. Draw, it's all dependent on Aston Villa and their result against Manchester United, who, again, if you were someone who was cheering on Tottenham, fucking shame on you. Shame on you for one. But also, Manchester United would have had something to sort of not necessarily fight for, but something to sort of go on from if they'd won the Europa League. I'm not saying I wanted them to win, but in our context, it would have benefited us, I think, just a tiny bit more. Not nothing crazy, but I think it would have benefited us just a little bit more if Man United had won. Spirits would have been high. They may not have won in the game against Aston Villa, but a draw could have easily been on the cards. In this game, I just think all players down tools, and I think it could get quite ugly, to be fair, on the final day between them and Aston Villa. Newcastle, they've got Everton. If we take a look at the remaining fixtures, hopefully this is updated. It is. So Man City have Fulham. Fulham are currently 10th. They've won 2 of their last 5. It's possible. It's highly unlikely. Plus, they are 2 points clear now. So in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter what happens with them. Unless they lose, Newcastle, Chelsea and Villa all win, then Forest would fall out, I suppose. It's possible. With regards to Newcastle, obviously they got 2 goal difference better than us, which is not good news for us at all, as goal difference could easily play a part with them if it came to losing. But even then, it wouldn't make a difference, I don't think. I don't know. We're just gonna have to see. I'm a nervous wreck, for Christ's sake. I'm an absolute nervous wreck. Aston Villa have the easiest game with Manchester United. Nottingham Forest have us, of course. We've got Nottingham Forest. I just can't put into words just how there's pressure and there's pressure, and this game has so much pressure involved here that I just question whether or not the players have the bollocks, have the experience. Because let's be honest, we've been taught this whole time under Maresca with the new players, or the players that we've got. They're too young, they're too inexperienced, they don't know what they do, and they can't challenge. And now it's come to a position where they have to compete and have to challenge. And you've instilled that sort of mindset in these players. They're going to be nervous. They're going to be very, very nervous indeed. Whether or not I think that we can get it over the line is one thing, but whether or not they can actually do it is another. I will say this, and I'll leave you here. I will be live at 1 p.m. UK time on the final day for the final day build-up stream. Then we'll be nothing for an hour, and then we'll start from 3 p.m. UK time, which is an hour before kickoff. Join me for all the build-up. We're going to have a lot to talk about, team news, injury news, all that stuff. It's going to be an absolutely monumental day, to say the least. With that said, let me know your predictions. Did I confuse you? I confused myself. Let me know your thoughts on the whole situation. Do you think we get Champions League? Do you think we get Europa League? Or do you think we're going to get Conference League? Let me know in the comments down below. For the penultimate preview video, I will be posting a preview properly for Nottingham Forest tomorrow, I think. Maybe. I don't know. I'll see how it goes. This kind of feels like a preview. But either way, I've got to do lineups and all that sort of stuff. So I'll do a preview tomorrow. With that said, please like the video, subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified of any future content on the channel. My name is Harry Up the Chels. And peace.